Hello everyone, and welcome to Scoreboard Gaming. Today we're gonna look for underrated games for the PlayStation 2. As usual, consider liking the video and subscribing. Let's get started. Maximo vs. Army of Zin. Maximo vs. Army of Zin is an action-adventure game developed by Capcom for the PlayStation 2, and it is a sequel to Maximo Ghosts to Glory. The game was released in 2003 and follows the adventures of the valiant knight, Maximo, as he battles against hordes of evil mechanical creatures known as the Army of Zin. The gameplay is a mix of classic platforming and hack-and-slash combat. Players control Maximo as he embarks on a quest to thwart the evil machinations of the Army of Zin and their leader, the mechanical sorceress, Queen Sophia. Throughout the game, Maximo will explore various levels, each with its own unique challenges and enemies. The game features tight and responsive controls, allowing players to perform a variety of attacks and combos with Maximo's sword. Players can also collect power-ups and use magical abilities to enhance their combat prowess and take on larger groups of enemies. Additionally, there are puzzle elements integrated into the gameplay, adding an extra layer of challenge and variety. One notable aspect of the game is its difficulty level, which can be quite challenging at times. The game demands precise timing and quick reflexes, making it rewarding for players who enjoy a good test of their gaming skills. For its time, Maximo vs. Army of Zin boasted impressive graphics on the PlayStation 2. The game features colorful and vibrant environments, from lush forests to eerie castles and industrial areas. The character design is detailed and captures the medieval fantasy aesthetic effectively. The animation is fluid, which is crucial for a game that requires precise combat mechanics. While it might not match up to modern standards, the visual presentation still holds up reasonably well, considering its release date. The game's story continues from where the previous installment left off. Maximo, the once deposed knight, is now tasked with stopping the mechanical Army of Zin, who has been wreaking havoc in the land. As Maximo, players must uncover the mystery behind the Army of Zin's resurrection and stop Queen Sophia's evil plans. The narrative is delivered through cutscenes and in-game dialogue, and it effectively blends humor and seriousness to keep players engaged throughout the adventure. The game introduces some interesting characters and reveals more about Maximo's motivations and character development. In summary, Maximo vs. Army of Zin delivers an enjoyable action-adventure experience on the PlayStation 2. Its mix of platforming, hack-and-slash combat, challenging difficulty, and intriguing story make it a worthy addition to the Maximo series. Fans of classic action games and medieval fantasy settings are likely to find much to appreciate in this title. Stretch Panic. Stretch Panic, known as Freak Out in Japan, is a unique and eccentric action-adventure game developed by Treasure and published by Conspiracy Entertainment for the PlayStation 2. Released in 2001, the game stands out with its bizarre gameplay mechanics and distinctive visual style. The gameplay revolves around a peculiar and creative mechanic where the protagonist, a young girl named Linda, wields a magical scarf called the Living Stretch. With this extraordinary scarf, players can grab and stretch various enemies and objects in the game world. This mechanic is not only used for combat but also for solving puzzles and navigating through the game's challenging levels. In combat, players use the Living Stretch to grab hold of enemies and stretch them to absurd proportions, ultimately causing damage to their weak points. Each enemy has its own unique stretch points, adding an element of strategy to the battles. The game features a wide variety of creative and sometimes wacky enemy designs, which keeps the gameplay fresh and entertaining. As Linda progresses through the game, she gains access to different abilities tied to the Living Stretch, providing a sense of character progression and making the gameplay even more diverse and engaging. Stretch Panic boasts a surreal and imaginative visual style that is both charming and quirky. The game features colorful and cartoonish graphics that perfectly match the game's eccentric gameplay mechanics. The character designs are over the top and exaggerated, fitting well with the stretching concept. Additionally, the game incorporates a mix of 3D environments and 2D sprites, adding to its distinctive charm. The game's art style is undoubtedly one of its strongest aspects, making it visually appealing to players who appreciate unconventional and offbeat aesthetics. The story centers around Linda, a young girl who discovers that her 12 sisters have been possessed by evil spirits. These spirits turn her sisters into powerful and malevolent demons. Guided by a sentient teddy bear named Master, Linda sets out on a bizarre journey to save her sisters and put an end to the malevolent spirit's reign. As Linda progresses through the game, she encounters a cast of eccentric characters and bizarre situations that contribute to the game's surreal and whimsical narrative. The story is delivered through cutscenes and in-game dialogue, often with a lighthearted and comedic tone. Overall, Stretch Panic is a game that embraces its own peculiarities and delivers a refreshing and unusual experience on the PlayStation 2. Its creative gameplay mechanics, distinct visual style, and offbeat story make it a memorable and enjoyable adventure for players seeking something different from the norm. However, it's worth noting that the game's gameplay might not appeal to everyone due to its unconventional nature. Nevertheless, if you're a fan of unique and quirky titles, Stretch Panic might be a delightful addition to your gaming collection. Soul Nomad and the World Eaters. Soul Nomad and the World Eaters is a tactical RPG developed by Nippon Ichi Software for the PlayStation 2. Released in 2007, the game offers a compelling mix of strategic gameplay, a captivating story, and colorful graphics. The gameplay centers around tactical grid-based battles. Similar to other strategy RPGs, players take control of the main character, known as Revia. The player can choose the gender and name, who becomes the host for Gig, a powerful and ancient demon. As Revia, you lead an army known as the Onyx Blade against the World Eaters, destructive beings threatening the world's existence. The combat involves positioning units on a grid-based map and strategically moving them to attack enemies or defend against incoming threats. The game features a deep and customizable class system, allowing players to train their characters in various roles and abilities, making each playthrough unique. One standout feature of the gameplay is the Gig Edict system, where players can make decisions during battles that directly impact the story and alter the course of events. This adds an element of consequence to your choices, making the narrative and gameplay more immersive. Outside of battles, players can interact with various characters, forge alliances, and uncover secrets through the game's visual novel-style storytelling segments. The game offers multiple endings, encouraging players to replay and explore different paths. Soul Nomad and the World Eaters features 2D sprite-based graphics with detailed character artwork and environments. The art style is consistent with other Nippon Ichi Software titles, showcasing vibrant and colorful visuals. While the graphics might not match the capabilities of more modern games, the game's aesthetic has a charming and nostalgic appeal. The battle animations are well animated and add excitement to the tactical combat. The character designs are varied and engaging, reflecting the diverse personalities and backgrounds of the game's cast. The game's narrative is one of its strongest aspects. The story in Soul Nomad and the World Eaters is captivating, with an intriguing blend of fantasy, adventure, and political intrigue. The World Eaters, massive creatures threatening the world, are central to the plot, and players must uncover their origins and motivations throughout the game. The presence of Gig, the ancient demon within the main character, adds depth to the storyline as it impacts Revia's decisions and relationships with other characters. Players are drawn into a tale filled with moral dilemmas, difficult choices, and unexpected twists, making for an engaging and emotionally impactful experience. The game also explores themes of power, sacrifice, and the consequences of one's actions, which adds a layer of depth to the storytelling. In conclusion, Soul Nomad and the World Eaters is a gem among tactical RPGs on the PlayStation 2. With its strategic gameplay, visually appealing art style, and compelling narrative, it offers a well-rounded and enjoyable experience for fans of the genre. If you appreciate tactical battles, a rich storyline, and character-driven choices, this game is a must-play. Darkwatch. Darkwatch is a first-person shooter, developed by High Moon Studios and published by Capcom for the PlayStation 2. Released in 2005, the game blends elements of the Wild West with horror and supernatural themes, creating a unique and immersive gaming experience. In Darkwatch, players assume the role of Jericho Cross, a gunslinger-turned-vampire after a fateful encounter with a powerful vampire lord named Lazarus Malkuth. As a member of the Darkwatch, a secret organization tasked with combating supernatural threats, Jericho must navigate a treacherous world of undead horrors and dark forces. The gameplay combines FPS mechanics with fast-paced action and unique vampire abilities. Jericho has access to an arsenal of both conventional and supernatural weapons, including pistols, shotguns, and a wrist-mounted crossbow that fires explosive bolts. As the game progresses, Jericho's vampire powers grow, allowing him to temporarily transform into a powerful vampire form, enhancing his combat capabilities. Throughout the game, players will face a variety of enemies, from grotesque zombies to deadly vampires, each requiring different strategies to defeat. Additionally, players can utilize a horseback riding segment for some levels, adding variety to the gameplay. The game offers a single-player campaign with various missions and objectives, as well as a split-screen multiplayer mode for local co-op play, providing players with a cooperative experience. For its time, Darkwatch has impressive graphics on the PlayStation 2. The game features detailed environments, richly designed levels, and atmospheric lighting, creating a haunting and immersive atmosphere. The character models are well designed, and the enemy designs are suitably menacing, fitting the game's horror theme. The visual style successfully combines elements of the Wild West with gothic horror, offering a unique and visually striking experience that sets it apart from other shooters of its time. The story of Darkwatch unfolds as Jericho crosses journey to redemption while dealing with his vampiric nature. Players will encounter various characters, each with their motivations and roles in the unfolding plot. The narrative weaves together elements of horror, the supernatural, and the Western genre, resulting in a compelling and engaging story. As Jericho navigates the dark and morally ambiguous world of Darkwatch, players will make decisions that affect the game's outcome, providing a level of player agency and replayability. The game's narrative is delivered through in-game cutscenes and dialogue, keeping players engaged in the unfolding events of Jericho's quest. In conclusion, Darkwatch is a unique and enjoyable FPS for the PlayStation 2. With its mix of Western themes, horror elements, and vampire powers, it offers an engaging and atmospheric gaming experience. The well-executed gameplay mechanics, impressive graphics, and captivating storyline make it a standout title on the platform. If you're a fan of shooters with a twist or appreciate the blending of genres, Darkwatch is definitely worth checking out. Thank you to everyone who watched so far, stay safe and until the next time.